What's up? Christopher Carosella here. Hold on a second. Oh, man. Coffee rules everything around me. Black, no sugar. Italian roasted beans, y'all. Alright. A little Wu-Tang remix for you. So, joined the DM's Tavern last night. Cool thing to get to be a part of, man. Bunch of good people, bunch of good insight. They got to talking about NPC interaction, how you get your players to interact with NPCs, how you get your players to role play more. Wanted to touch on this stuff. My thoughts on it. Things are kind of hard to speak in, so I'm gonna do it like this way. As far as NPC interaction, you're the dungeon master. Any NPC at any time, you can take them and just have them walk up to the players and talk to them, engage conversation with them. There doesn't have to be a purpose to it. It could just be somebody walking up. You look just like my son. Oh, I haven't seen him since he died. And I know that's awkward. They're gonna be like, oh, the town whore could walk up to a handsome PC and, hey there, sexy. She smiles with a toothless grin. Why don't we go back here around this alley? I don't cost very much, she says as she pinches his butt. He could smell the foulness on her breath. They're gonna react to that, I guarantee it. You got a female, have like a drunk, belligerent dude just kind of like, come here. Damn, that you sexy there. Smack her on the butt, man. She probably ain't gonna like that, honestly. That might not be something you want to do. But there's ways to engage conversation with them, and that's what you should do. You should engage conversation with them. Like when they walk through town, I describe what's going on. You see a tall man with brown hair wearing noble gowns walk into the Fortnite's Inn. You see a peasant girl, plain and simple, walk into the library. And somebody brushes up against you, you look and you see it's a dwarf, and he grumbles, "Watch where you go, boy." And I try to bring to life like my world. There's not just the people that they want to talk to. There's not just the people that are gonna talk to them. There's the entire world there. There's the entire town, and all this stuff is going on at once. And they can walk up to any one of these NPCs and talk to them, and they have their own story to tell, and they have their own life going on, and that's one way to do it. Bring everything to life. Make every person alive. It's not about the tavern owner who's going to sell them their next full plate armor. It's about the story going around, the mumbles going around about the you eavesdropping here, and the Lord's wife is actually a hag, and he just found out last night, and he's cool with it. And then, hold on, what? He's a hag? I'm not cool with that, though. Let me see. It's just, everything's going on. Another thing I do is a variant from the Dungeon Master's Guide, 5th edition. I've been doing this for a long time, though. Just seems right. It's called Ignoring the Dice. One approach is to use dice as rarely as possible. Some DMs use them only during combat to determine the success or failure, as they like in other situations. With this approach, the DM decides whether an action or plan succeeds or fails based on how well the players make their case, how thorough or creative they are, or other factors. This approach rewards creativity by encouraging players to look for other situations you've described for an answer, rather than looking for their character sheet. Now, this is huge. You want to role play? This is the way to go. Get rid of dice rolls on a bunch of skill checks. Even athletics, man. Like, say they're trying to climb a tree to get some owl eggs. Say they walk up to the tree, they're like, all right, I try to wrap my arms around it and shimmy up, and they roll and then they fail. Okay. You just fail. Now give them other options to get up there. You see a hole in the tree about 3 feet off the ground. You know that if you were to run and jump, you could use that hole to get leverage, to jump up high enough to grab the next branch. On the far end, you see vines wrapped, entwined around the branches. This vine, as thick as your wrist, strongly entangled into this tree, hanging, touching the ground. You could probably shimmy up it. And then they need to role play it. If they just say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna use that hole and I'm just gonna jump up there and grab on. That's okay, but encourage more. Like, personally, I'd be like, nah, that ain't enough. I'm kind of blunt about it. My players know that I'm expecting more. It's a role-playing game, so I just tighten up. But, I back up. So I have some room to get speed. I look, eyeing the distance off the ground for me to place my foot in this hole. And I spring forward, using my right foot to dig into the ground so that I get as much power from the start as I can. 3 strides bring me to it. I jump, leap lightly as possible, placing my foot into the hole. I crouch down and I use my right leg again for the strength to jump up as high as I can. I grab a hold of the tree branch. My hands start to slip. I grab hold of it. My knuckles are white as my fingers dig into the bark. My feet are scraping the trees. I pull myself up above it and awesome. That's an XP point right there. There's other ways to do it. Bluff checks, sit back and listen to them. Have the dude eyeballing them too, like looking them up and down. And be like, nah, I don't believe that shit. Dude's lying. This dude's lying. And unless they tell something this sweet in a smooth fib, then okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get in your way. By all means, go. And that's another way to do it. Is to take the dice out of it. In combat, my players have learned that have played with me over time to pretty much not roll, because sometimes they'll roll awesome numbers and they'll be wasting them because it doesn't matter what you roll. I'm not looking for a roll, so you've just wasted that dice roll. Like in combat, sometimes I say, all right, you hit, describe it to me. Describe what you do. No, you don't kill him. Tone it down, killer. You just hit. Describe what you're doing. And all right, I flinch to the left, pretending that I'm gonna stab towards his leg. And the beast falls for it. He cringes down, opening up his right side. As he does so, I slice across his rib cage. Okay, cool. Roll damage. They didn't even have to roll. That just happened. And then I'll go from it. Okay. Monster crush. That was the monster. And that just happened. They didn't have to roll nothing. Now, will I do it all the time? No. But it does happen sometimes. Same with kill shots. Let your players describe their kill shots. Trust me, they will get into the role playing then for sure. They'll take minutes to describe it. Another thing I do sometimes, slightly, not just sometimes, I'll hit the player without rolling nothing. You don't have to roll everything. I've went into whole details about things and I haven't rolled nothing, and the players just sit back and listen. Like, say the rogue's walking and he's even investigating as he walks, looking for any dangers in the tree line. Arrow, out of nowhere, comes towards him. He feels the wind hit his back. The arrow's coming towards his chest. The breeze goes around him and he feels it push away from his body. He sees that the arrow must be caught from the gust of wind, and it drops low at the last moment, piercing his thigh instead of his chest. That just happened. You know, did it kill him? No, I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, the arrow hits you in your eye and you're dead. You know, though I will, players do die. Don't get me wrong. There is definitely a chance of death. I'm not just gonna do it. You know, I try to allow the players to kill themselves. That's my main thing. If I feel like the player killed themselves, then that's okay. If I feel like I killed the player, then, you know, I got a problem with that. I don't really want to be killing, because I don't want my characters to die. So I understand how it is. But yeah, that's another approach. Sometimes you just hit. It adds to the story. On top of that, you didn't roll any dice. You role played, and it just happened. You know, people need to realize that the dice, sometimes they get like this grip on it, and they don't want to let them go. And players, you need to trust your dungeon master. Sit back, let your DM do what they do. Let us do what we do. You know, and dungeon masters at the same time, be willing to let your players add to the story, because that will get their role playing going and their creativity going like nothing else. Is when they actually invent something on the spur of the moment and you run with it. They add it into your game, your world, and it's there permanently and you're running with it. That's an awesome feeling. From experience, you know, it's cool that DMs allow that to happen, because I play with DMs that are just like, there's none of that, you know, which is also fine. It is what it is. But I think I've touched on everything that I wanted to on the role playing and the NPC interaction and all that thing. One quick thing for dungeon masters and players alike, last thing, do not be self-conscious about role-playing. It's already weird that we're playing little fucking fantasy characters in a fantasy world that fight dragons, you know, dude? Don't make it. It's only weird if you make it weird, pretty much. So role-play that shit. Get into character. Do voices. All of it's good. All of it's acceptable. If it's not, then you really shouldn't be sitting down at that table with that group, because they're not for you anyway. If that's how you like to get down. So yeah, don't be self-conscious. Be confident. Go approach it with confidence. Approach it with self-esteem and practice, you know? Study. Read the book at times when you don't know, you know? And all that'll add to the role playing. It'll make you more confident. That's it. Sorry it turned into 13 minutes.